Hello everyone, my name is Keone, and in this video I'm going to tell you all about how to manifest a soulmate. Yes, in this video I'm going to give you the answer to finding your soulmate, your twin flame, your eternal friend, lover, whatever you want to call it. Um, Basically, I'm going to tell you that there's three simple steps to manifesting your soulmate. And I wanted to go over this because I understand that this is a very important thing to a lot of people in their lives. I mean, it's important to me too. But um, I really wanted to go over this and have a focus of this on my channel because of the importance of what it means to be around your soul mates, I guess, your soul companions. So before anything else, I wanted to go and explain, if you haven't heard the term soulmate yet, well, I guess if you have heard the term, then you would be looking for this video, but kind of explain more in depth what soulmates are. So I define soulmates as two separate things. You have soul connections and soul companions, or a soul companion, I guess. So in this way, um, we before we came here, we are spiritual beings having a physical experience. Before we came to this life here on earth, we were spiritual beings who were around other spiritual beings. In the sense, we we have connections with people here on earth long before we come to earth. We've had, maybe we've lived whole lifetimes, maybe we've just had this, we were just around them, you know. In You're able to recognize that these things exist when uh, if you've ever came into contact with somebody and you just felt this recognition, you're like, I know this person, but I have no idea why I know this person because I've never met them in my life. But you still recognize them, you know? You're like, what the, how do I know you? And, you know, you go up and talk to them and you're like, whoa, you know, you just immediately vibe with each other. You're like, dang, this guy is cool, or this girl is cool. I don't know. But you just have this, already this connection. You're like, how is it that we know each other? You know, kind of situation. That I can make a whole nother video in the future about how to recognize soul connections and soul companions. But in this video specifically, I wanted to talk about manifesting your soul companion. And I will be calling it that from the rest of this video. But it helps to know what these things are. So before I go into finding your soul companion, or manifesting your soul companion, or same thing, I guess. I'm going to go and reference this image right here. This is called the vibrational spectrum of emotion. Um, I have another video that I will link down in the description below that it kind of goes more in depth about what this is. But basically, it is a scale of measuring where we are in tune to who we originally were, which is our enlightenment phase. That's who we were before we came here, and who we created as. Uh, so it helps to know what this is because the first step to manifesting your soul companion, sorry, I said I would stop calling it that, your soul companion, your first step is to follow your passions. And that might be very confusing because a lot of people will say, you know, you just go on 100 dates, you'll find them eventually. You know, there's plenty of fish in the sea. I personally, I can't stand it when people tell me that. But I mean, it is technically true. There's like, what, 7 trillion, not trillion, 7 billion. I don't know. There's ridiculous amount of people here on Earth. To be stuck on one specific person kind of seems trivial when you think about it that way, but I'll get to that in a second. The reason why following your passions is the first step to um, manifesting your soulmate, your soul companion. Jeez, I did it again. Oh, um, it's because you have something called a vibrational set point. Or, well, first I should explain what manifesting is. Manifesting is essentially it is the law of attraction reflecting physically how you feel. So you feel anger or something, and the law of attraction says, yes, you feel anger, so they manifest it physically to you in waking life. That's what manifesting is. And there's different depths of it. So like you can manifest feeling happy, but you can also manifest finding your soul companion. You know, so um, the reason why knowing about the vibrational set point and why it's so important. Sorry, I have this light here. It's very blinding, so I keep squinting. Anyway, um, your set point is kind of where you're like when you wake up in the morning, you have this feeling that you just start out with. That's your vibrational set point. This can be influenced by what you're thinking about when you go to bed and your core frequencies. Another thing I talk about in that other video. Uh, but when you are in your set point, you are only able to attract based on the law of attraction. Things can only manifest to you to that vibration, if that makes sense. So say we're in the vibration of uh, acceptance. We'll go with acceptance. If you're so you're kind of accepting everything that's going on to you. You're not like super happy, but you're not bogged down by how things might be. So you're saying like, I just accept that life is the way it is. You know, that's all good. And the law of attraction, or the universe, the the, the void, the higher powers, and whatever, will basically say, yes, you are accepting everything is good, and then it will manifest those things physically. You'll see more and more instances in your life that'll say, yes, everything's good, yes, acceptance, yay, kind of thing, and it's like bouncing off your face or whatever. I mean, probably not physically like that, but you get the idea. It's made manifest to you. In this way, by following your passions, you are raising your set point to a place where you can attract that which you are looking for. So first realize that a soul companion, when you interact with your soul companion or you get to know them, you meet them for the first time, uh, you will, the whole reason that anybody wants to do anything is because they want to feel. So first recognize, why is it that you want a soulmate? Because we're spiritual beings before we are physically. I mean, yes, we can say like, oh, I want to interact with them. No, I want to spend time with them. But at the fundamental core, we experience feeling before we experience physically. So what is it that we want to feel from it, essentially? What is our motivation of feeling? Most, for pretty much anyone, I guess, because of the nature of what it is, you want to feel love. You want to feel companionship. You want to feel important. So that's why you're looking for your soul companion. But realize, first of all, that because we start out in this frequency, that's who we always have been. You're not missing those feelings. You're not missing that feeling of companionship or anything. Uh, our ego likes to tell us that because our ego is built off of experiences that we've had, but it's not true. We're whole, complete people. You who are watching this video right now, you're a whole, complete person. You are just good and just amazing, just how you are. That's a lot of jests, but you are. You're a full, whole, complete person, and don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise, because that is who you are. And I know it, and I'm pretty sure you know it. And if you don't, then now you do. You are a whole, complete person. Just, like, I don't know. I kind of went on a tangent there. But so when you do your passions, we come here to have a linear experience, um, and but we come here with specific traits that we like. So, for example, one of my passions, I like to do. I'm an actor. I love to do acting. I love to be on stage or in front of a camera. Either way, which way, I don't know. I like being able to put myself into the place of a character and try and portray that character and building a story in that way. So one of my passions then too is also I like to make people laugh. So I do sketch comedy. Uh, just this is just an example, but when I pursue that, because that is a passion, that is something I've always loved to do. You know, you grow up having certain things that you just love to do. When you do them, you just are like, man, I'm cloud nine. Things are great. I don't care what happens because I love doing this, and this is making me happy. This passion, I guess. So basically, what that's doing is that's raising your vibration, going up and up and up. And I'm sitting up here, I'm like, man, I just love to act and love to act, and it's so much fun. I have so much joy acting and portraying characters, and I just love and joy. So you're raising your vibration to who you were always meant to be by doing your passions, and you more likely than or in also recognize that if you're looking or trying to manifest your soul companion is also trying to manifest you, just as much as you're trying to manifest them. So they're putting themselves into a core frequency to meet you. But because you can only be reflected, or you can only attract that which you're in the frequency of, if your frequency is down here and you're doing things that you don't love to do, or like your focus in life is not the things that you love to do, say it's like your job, you don't like your job, or you're going to school and you don't like what major you're in, or even, I mean, like even in high school, if you're like, man, I just don't like taking this. Well, I mean, of course, get education. Don't just like skip high school. That's not the message I'm trying to share here. Um, but the idea is that they're up in this vibration and they're looking for people in this vibration, doing their passions, doing what they love to do. That's what your soul companion is doing. So, in order for you to attract that or to find that, you also have to be in the same vibration. Otherwise, you're down here and they're looking up here. They're like, "What? Where's this?" And you're a fish under the water. You're like, "Oh, I'm down here. Look at me." And they're like, "Oh, I can't because I'm on the pier and I'm paying attention to the mountains, not the sea." I don't know. Weird analogy, but um, the idea is that when you do this, you just put yourself in the vibration to meet this person. So it just happens naturally. The second, that's the first step. The second step is to uh, do your passions with the intention of it helping other people or bettering others. Um, the reason why this is important is because when you have, oftentimes when we do our talents, we get stuck in the ego. We're like, oh, I'm super good at this. I love to do this. And then you bring yourself down. You're like, well, I mean, that's the improper use of the word love, but it's like, oh, look at me. I'm so good at what I do. Sometimes we fall into traps of like that, or sometimes we fall into traps of things aren't working out the way that we imagined them. And we just sit there and be like, oh, I thought I was doing things right, and I'm frustrated that they're not going the same way. Uh, we just fall into these we have little events that happen in our linear experience that lower our vibration. But when we do our passions with the betterment of others in mind, then we're not focused on those hiccups. Because, I mean, honestly, when you have something that you love to do, one of your talents, one of your passions, more likely than not, you're doing it with the intention of other people seeing it. You're like, this is so cool, guys. Come see what this is because it's awesome. And people are like, okay, yeah, I want to go see because he loves it so much. That means I might love it too. And so in that way, you kind of naturally have that intention of bettering others, but to be aware of that intention really helps drive the set point up, I guess. Imagine it's like a steak, I guess. You hammer in a steak, you're ding ding ding. My steak's right here in neutrality and whatever. But then you pull it out and you're like, no, that's not where I want to be. Stick it way up here in enlightenment. Like, this is my steak. This is where it will always stay. Um, I forget why I even brought that up, but the reason that's why it's important to have the intention of bettering others. Because when you have the intention of bettering others, then you're still up in this higher vibration. I mean, honestly, when you don't love yourself as much as you love your family, because if you love yourself, that's well, I mean, like, it's important to love yourself. I'm getting off track here. That's not the point of this video, but the my point is that when you have betterment of others in mind, then you stick to these high frequencies, which leads to um, the final step, which is to trust the process 100%. The reason why this is important is because it helps to understand what what the purpose of companionship is in the first place. Why we even have a soul companion, you know, and the reason is because our soul companion, our twin flame, not only are they the people we're meant to be with, but they're also the people who are going to make us grow the most. They're going to push us. And we're going to push them. We don't want to just be with them and have it magically be like, yeah, everything's okay. Life's for the rest of life, everything's okay. But the reason you want to be around them too is because you want to improve things. You want to make them even greater than they are. Um, that is essentially the purpose of companionship. I mean, we knew these people before we came here, and so we come here in this linear experience, and we have certain people that we've met before that inspire us to do certain things or warn us to not do certain things, whatever. And uh, our our soul companion is kind of like uh, the key note of it. The highest or the most influential person that you will meet, I suppose. Um, the reason why it's important to trust then that it is our purpose. We are naturally supposed to have this soul companion. Everybody has one. That is, I mean, that's my personal belief, but it just, I'm pretty sure that's just how it is. Everybody has somebody they're meant to be with because we are not meant to be alone. If we were meant to be alone, then there would only be one of us. There would only be one human being if we were meant to be alone. And since there's not only one human being, there's not only one of us, then naturally we can come to the conclusion that we're not supposed to be alone. So we have these soul companions, and by knowing this, you can sit there and trust 100% that it's going to come to you. And it's kind of tough to do. Sorry, I have this thing on the camera and it's really bothering me. Oh. Oh no, I don't want to mess with the setup. Oh, okay, that's not coming off. Whatever. Anyway, a weird distraction. The where was I at? Trusting the process. Right. So, in order to trust the process, we kind of have to give up on forcing this to happen. Because when we try and force ourselves or force the meeting of our soul companion, it creates resistance. It creates an instance where we're saying, like, I have to make it happen. And so then, the law of attraction, the universe is like, yes, you do have to make it happen. So make it happen. I'm not going to do it for you. But the law of attraction is kind of the one that does it because it's spiritual stuff and feelings. But when you trust the process 100%, then you ascend the ego. The ego wants to control everything, but it's not necessary for it to do so. In fact, you often meet soul connections and soul companions and interact with them the most when your ego is not the one in control and your spiritual self is in control. So, just to wrap up, because there was a lot of things introduced in this video, your soul companion can be found by, or you can come in contact with your soul companion by doing three things. The first is to follow your passions. Or follow your purpose, too. That's another way to say it. Number two, do it with the intention of bettering humanity. And number three, trust the process. Trust that it is something that is meant to happen and don't get in the way of yourself. So with that, I hope that this information helps you to find your soul companion. I'm not a matchmaker or anything, and I don't want it to come across as that, but that's kind of what this video is. I guess. But I hope that it helps you to be able to see a clear direction of how you want to go about and how you will find this person. Because I guarantee you that when you do these 3 steps, you will find the person that you're looking for. I intend to do more videos about this kind of concept specifically in the future to go more in depth. So look forward to that. If you have any questions about it, let me know in the comments below, because I love to, I want to uh, expound on this further. Just with the interest of time, I can't, but or I can. I just choose not to because that would make this like a 3-hour video, and that's just tough to listen to, you know. But so with that, I hope you have a good rest of your day, whatever intervals that might be in, and I will see you guys in a future video.